Quincy, and I'm getting ready to talk with Eddie Levert. We're going to talk with Eddie about his new music, his family, and how he's coped with the death of his sons, Gerald and Sean. Stay tuned. Studio Q Show, now you know. I'm here with the legendary Eddie Levert, who is a member of one of America's iconic R&B groups, the O'Jays. And I just want to thank you so much, Eddie, because I don't get to talk to legends every day.
Well, you better relish this because it might not be long.
No.
Remember, legend mean old.
But you always keep up with the time, so you always keep it fresh.
I try to stay fresh.
You do. You don't try. You do. You do.
I try to stay in the game.
Yeah.
You know. Well, you know, dealing with these young people, you better try to stay fresh, or else they'll be done wrapped you all the way into a corner.
Right. Well, I know most of us know you from your amazing group, the O'Jays, but now you have a new solo album out, and it's number 23 on the Billboard charts. I mean, how does that feel?
Well, that really feels good, you know, because from the standpoint of, you know, us old school artists, it's hard to get on the radio. It's hard for us to be heard. So that means that somebody's listening to it and somebody's hearing me, and maybe somebody's going out and buying a few. But this is what it looked like, y'all.
I love it.
This is what it looked like. It's called Did I Make You Go Ooh?
And what's the difference in this from I Still Got It?
Oh, a tremendous. I mean, the difference in night and day. Because let me tell you what happened with I Still Have It. Now, when I did that album, it was really just ego. You know what I'm saying? Because Charlie Wilson had just started doing his thing, and Mr. Big had been doing his thing, and they were all over the radio. And I said, well, I'm do best. I'm going to do some rhythm and blues, and I'm going to just do it with just a rhythm section, no horns, no strings, and I'm just going here. I'm going in here raw, and I'm going to show them that I'm the man and I could make this happen. Wrong, Eddie, wrong. You were wrong, Eddie, you were wrong. Because, see, I didn't take into consideration that, you know, it was social media, and the music business has changed a great deal from the time when we used to put out records, and you had DJs like Frankie Crocker, Jimmy Bishop, you had people like Rocky G, the guys in Chicago, Herb Kent, and all of those guys. You know, you had radio personalities who were friends of mine, who I could call up and say, hey, man, listen, I put out a CD, would you play it? And they would play it. Now everything is syndicated, and everything is like, you know, you got one programmer that's programming about 50 stations, and then another programmer programming 50 stations. And so now it's hard to get your stuff into that rotation of radio. And so when I put out I Still Have It, I really didn't spend enough time on it. I didn't spend enough time in making sure that the vocals were good, making sure that the rhythm section was good, you know, like everything was on point, you know what I'm saying? I didn't spend that time on it like I did on this Did I Make You Go. I handpicked the songs. I made sure that they were good songs, and that they were good songs before I put music to them. So I sort of made sure that this Did I Make You Go was on point. And I happened to get myself into a situation where I'm you know, I'm elated with this album. I think this is a great piece of work, and it's one of my finest piece of work that I've done in years. And I Still Have It is still a good album, but it's just not what I think it should have been.
Gotcha. Well, I know that going into just recording studio by yourself and you don't have to look to the left, you don't have to look to the right, only one opinion matters. You said that you kind of like that. Is it the same
Well,
way?
yeah. You didn't have to get approval from them other two guys, them other two clowns. But you know, but I think it's valuable to have those two guys in the studio because they are coming from another standpoint. They can be very objective or they can be very positive and let you know what they really think about what you're doing. When it's just one guy's opinion, it's sort of rough. It's sort of hard. You depend on your engineer. You depend on the musicians to tell you if you're on point or if you're not. And sometimes, they're partial because it's some of their work anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Where with the guys, if it's songs that I wrote and they didn't have nothing to do with it, they can be very brutal.
Right.
So
right.
they can say, "Oh man, I never liked the song anyway." So,
is it the same way when you're performing? Like, do you feel like, oh, I finally got the whole stage by myself?
Never. Not. Look. I found out one thing. That is not so great having that whole stage all by yourself. You sort of need those guys to lean on sometimes because when you're up there all by yourself, you need to know there comes a moment in the show where you need to have breath. You need to be able to breathe.
Right.
And because it's all on you, so everything, all the movement and everything is about you. So fatigue will set in so soon, so quick when you're up there by yourself. You almost want to say, "Okay, band, just stop while I catch my breath." Y'all stop. Don't play no more. Don't. I need to sit down.
well, that sets me up for my next question. I mean, you've been doing this for over 50 years. What is it like being on the road at 74 versus back at 18, 19?
Just your energy level. You're like I tell you, the priceless thing that you need most when you turn 74 is to be able to breathe. You have to I'm not lying to you.
I believe you. I'm gonna take your word for it.
Yeah, I mean, next time you get Charlie Wilson on an interview, ask him, is it important to breathe? He'll know exactly.
Oh my. How has the industry changed? I mean, you've seen it all.
Yeah, well, it has changed. The industry has changed so much from the standpoint of, listen, it used to be just about talent. You didn't have to be the prettiest person or the best looking guy in the room to get a deal. Now, the business is where you have to have the whole package. You have to have the looks. You have to have the voice. You have to be able to dance. You have to have the personality and all of that. So nowadays, if you got the looks and you sound halfway decent, you can be successful. And then now, back when I was coming up, it was just singers. And now you got rappers, the guys who can come now and talk over a hit record and rap on a hit record and make a hit record. Where when I came up, there was no such thing. The only rap that I ever heard was when Isaac Hayes was rapping on By the Time I Get to Phoenix, or when Ray Stevens was rapping on "Please, Mr. Custard," or when Vincent Price did the Monster Mash. That's the only rap we heard. But then then along comes N.W.A. Then along comes Will Smith, Kanye West, Jay-Z, Biggie, Tupac, and all of this, and it changed the whole game. Where it made it hard for people who sing songs to get airplay. Now the focus is put on people like Kanye West, like Jay-Z, like KRS, and now there's a new rapper coming into town. The new rappers, they're just dealing with the groove. They're not spilling big big words and saying messages. They're just doing whatever it takes to make a hit record and become superstar.
That's so
Now
true.
the rappers, now the rappers like the N.W.A.s and the Jay-Z's and the Kanye West. I would not so much them, but the people like Chuck D and like Flavor Flav and all of those guys. They are complaining because now they're becoming old school. Now they are becoming I remember when
Yeah.
or irrelevant. And all artists. I imagine when Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan and all of them, when we came along and changed the game, it was hard for them to get to first place. So now the music just keeps going 360. So everybody gets their turn, and so now I just feel fortunate that I put out this CD, and it's 23, and I think that's quite an achievement.
Oh, that's an amazing achievement. And based on what you just said, how have you been able to continue to reinvent yourself so that you could be 74 with an album on Billboard charts?
I think I have to put that the blame or the reason why that's happening on Charlie Atkins. Charlie Atkins was our choreographer. He's the guy who gave us all those tremendous steps on all of those songs. He also helped the Temptations. He also helped the Spinners. He also helped the Manhattans, the Four Tops. He did a lot for the Supremes. Gladys Knight and the Pips. He did a lot. He choreographed all of our shows. And what he told us was, look, you got a hit record. Okay, now hit records are far and in between, but I'm going to give you a hit show. I'm going to give you a show that you'll be able to do for the rest of your life, and people will always appreciate your talent because I'm going to showcase it to the point that you will always have a good show. So that's what I attribute our success to, is that we're able to go out and perform in front of people, and it's a great show, and it's most important to us is our fans and performing for them and giving them a A1 show.
And you do that, and I know Mr. Atkins said repetition is key. So now when your feet hit the floor, it's like it has its own mind.
So I don't even have to think about it. They're going to do what they're supposed to do anyway because I've been programmed. I'm almost like a robot. When you hear the music to "Used to Be My Girl," the feet automatically do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Without thinking.
I love it. How have you adjusted to the internet and social media?
I'm still adjusted. You know what I'm saying? Because I have fat thumbs. When I hit the keyboard, I hit 2 or 3 keys at the time. So everything look like I don't know what I'm spelling. I be spelling everything be spelled all wrong. And then when I look at it again, now I have to proofread everything that I do on social media to make sure that it's what I was trying to say, because you'll look down there and it'll be a word that there's no such word. You know what I'm saying? So I've been embarrassed a lot
Oh
on social
no.
media because you know if you don't use the right comma, exclamation mark, period. You don't put it in the right place. They talk about you, and they like I'm supposed to be educated and all that. Whatever.
I love it. I love it. Well, you said that you're the hero when you can make the people dance, and that a ballad definitely gives you longevity. What dance do you think, what song do you think that the OJs just, made a hero out of because it got people on the dance floor? And what ballad do you think gave y'all the most longevity?
The most amazing thing is the song that gets them up on their feet. I mean, this is white, black, colored, purple, blue, whatever color you are. The song that always gets them up and get them up on the floor is Love Train. Can you believe that?
I love that
Love
though.
Train keeps them, the people be up and they be doing some of the craziest moves that you ever wanted to. They start a line. One night we did this song and we did a 30-minute version, a 30-minute long version
Wow.
of Love Train over and over and over. Got tired of it. They want more. I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable. And as far as the ballad,
Hmm.
I'd have to say the ballads, they truly love the ballads, like the cry together, like the Let Me Make Love to You. I think um, if I had to pick one that I think that people just stay with and it's always a constant, I'd have to say that would be it's a toss up between Cry Together and Stairway to Heaven.
Gotcha. Yeah. Guys got so many classics. So many, so many.
Yeah,
What
really.
really? There have been so many groups that have broken up. What do you think is the glue that kept you guys together for so long? Still together.
We 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 learned one thing. This is a business. This is has nothing to do with me personally or with Walt Williams personally or Eric Grant personally. We're in business, and so we treat it as such, and we don't let the egos or we don't let the I want to be the guy out front or I want to be the guy that's singing the next song. We don't let that ever become an issue. The issue is that we're in business and we're going to make sound business decisions. And the most important thing is to make sure that our fans are satisfied. And that's the way we deal with it. And, you know, we don't let it get to the point of it's going to be a deal breaker. We're not going to be able to get along when we can't decide on this. When we can't decide on it, we put in a third party. We can have someone who can look at it from a total another standpoint, and we can get their view, and that helps us to make our decision.
Nice. Well, 50 years plus. You guys doing something right. But I, I,
Yeah.
I, I know what was a deal breaker when Donald Trump wanted to use use your music for the
Yes.
Republican convention. How angry were you that he used your music without permission to support him?
I well, I was really angry about it because of the fact that look, if just listening to him talk, he sounds like he's done drunk one too many beers, and
Hmm.
he just sounds like he done turned red, and he's just hollering and saying nothing, and the things that he say are so absurd so ridiculous. And then when you look at the people who are supporting him and listen to what they say out of their mouth, then it really makes you angry when you think he's going to use me to try to get votes or to try to get people to follow him. Um, then you constantly hear all of his supporters and all the people that are in his camp are always trying to explain what he meant. You know what I'm saying? They're trying. How in the heck can y'all explain what this man meant? You cleaning it up for him. I've done business with him. I made a few dollars with him, but I never knew that he was stupid.
Right, right. I mean, because you guys' song is the Apprentice theme song.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I say, I made money with him,
Hmm.
and I probably have cut that off all the way. But all money is not good, and I just, I feel like I'm not telling people. Like I tell people every night at my show. Listen, we need to get out and vote. I'm not trying to tell you who to vote for, but I just want to say this: don't vote for him.
Well, you already convinced me. You convinced me. I just knew that you were quite angry. There was a lot of artists who said the same thing. They didn't want him using their music. So you were one of many.
But see, what I think about artists and making, it's like this kid, what's his name, Colin Kaepernick,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
the
The
football player,
football player.
and the way he's dealing with the national anthem. I don't know whether that's the right thing, but I think that we as artists, we as people who are in the public eye, we at some point we have to make a stand and we have to let people know what we feel and how we feel and let them know that we are human too and we're involved in this as well as everybody else.
Oh yeah, that's well said. Well said. Well, it's been like almost 10 years since you lost your son Gerald, and 8 years since you lost your son Sean. What do you miss most about them?
And uh, just being able to talk to them, just be, because you got to remember my relationship with them was one of such, they were in the same business as I was, and they were trying to be successful in it. And so we had a lot in common as far as the business is concerned. And I could talk to them about things that I was going through, and they could understand it after they became men, and we bonded as men and as fathers and son, and I was able to, like, we would pick up the phone on any given day and spend hours on the phone just laughing and talking about things that have happened on the road or in our everyday life. I could, we could apply that in our relationship, and I was just able to communicate with them, and they became not only my sons but my friends.
Does it get easier with as time goes by, or does it hurt as bad as it happened yesterday?
Yes, it hurt just as bad. It never gets easier because wake up one morning and wish that I could just call them
Right.
and say hello. I wish I could just hear their voice,
Hmm.
and that never gets easy. That's always going to be something that it's depressing,
Hmm.
goes on, and you just have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and go ahead on and deal with the people that you still have with you because they need you now, and you have to also give them a part of you. And it's like love is a hard thing. love is a hard thing, and it never goes away. It will always be a part of you, and they will always be a part of me, and they will always be with me.
Always, always. Well, I know when
Yes.
you said when you're on stage, it's very therapeutic because you don't have to feel your knees hurting. You don't have to think of anything sad.
True,
So,
very true. Well, it's therapeutic from the standpoint. Now the only thing you're focused on is doing your show, singing the songs, feeling good about yourself, and making the people feel that.
right.
And so it's like, you, you that's an hour and a half that I don't have to think about my bills. I don't have to think about what's hurting me now, because that's not the main focus. Now I can just think about the songs, and if the people are having a good time, and I'm focused to the point that I have to forget about all those bad things or the negative things or even the positive things. Right now, the most important thing is what's at hand, and that's the show and the people that's sitting out there enjoying
Well, I want to know, how do you heal when you get off the stage?
it. That's a hard part, because I've psyched myself up to the point of that now it's going to take me at least 2 or 3 hours. Now, say like if we go on the stage, say about 9:30 or 10 o'clock, and we're off the stage, say about 11 o'clock. Okay, by the time we get dressed, and me and Walt, we're kibbushing back and forth, laughing at each other, because we're not perfect, so that we might have forgot a step or we might have forgot a spiel. So we're laughing about that and trying to let each other know, well, you weren't quite on point there, so you we spend maybe hour, maybe hour and a half still to the show. Now, when we get back to our room, now I might be up for another 2 or 3 hours, because now I've hyped myself up. Now I have to come down from that. And so from that, coming down off of that high, you're you're either watching TV, or you're sitting there and you're on your Facebook or your Twitter or your Instagram, and you do those things until you might not you look you might have a 5 o'clock in the morning flight, but you might not come off of that high until maybe 4:30. So you
Wow.
have no sleep. So now you have to go to the airport, and now you have to get on the plane, and now you have to start. The cycle starts all over again. You get in the hotel, you fall out and get some kind of rest. You try to get some rest, and then now you hype yourself back up again, and you have to come off of it. It's like up and down, up and down.
Man, that's quite a life to have lived so long doing that same type of dance.
But I think you know what I think about it. Know what I think about it. I think that that it keeps you a little healthy.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because your brain is always working. Your mind is always on point. You're always thinking about something. There's no, and then you realize one thing. You've done this, and this is what you wanted to do, and there's no crying in baseball.
See, that's why you're so sharp at 74. That's why you
Yeah,
keep it
that's what
sharp.
I'm saying. That's why I think just the work, the part of it, the work ethics keep you sharp.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, you said, living a life on the road after, one of the things that you really learned from the passings of your two sons is to focus on the little things.
Yeah.
And now that you have started to focus on the little things, going to the park, going to the school programs, all that little stuff you may have missed before, how has that affected your life with your wife, grandkids? loved ones now that you do take the time?
Now, I think they finally realize that I really care. That I think that shows that I really care, and they finally are able to see that I really care. That's important to them. You know what I'm saying? That's important that I go to their little assembly, that I go to their graduations, that I go to their little programs that they're having. And because it shows my interest, it shows that I care about what they're doing. And I think it's made me a better father, a better grandfather, a better uncle, you know what I'm saying, a better cousin, a better nephew, because now I spend more time with my aunts. I spend more time with my family, per se, you know what I'm saying? Because when you get in this business has a tendency to consume you.
Yes.
If you're not careful, because it's all you ever think about. So you have to sort of learn how to spread it around a little bit and take time out for them as well as for yourself.
Well, I'm glad that you've done that. I know it's enriched your life a lot.
Oh yes, oh yeah. No joke.
Well, you said that Gerald was so good he almost stole your career. What did you love most about both him and Sean as a performer?
Well, just his work ethics, and that's what this is about. You got to have good work ethics. You gotta dig down and come up. You know what I'm saying? And I saw this kid come up because I was very hard on him. I wasn't, because look, you're representing yourself and your whole family when you're out there. So it's like this: whatever you do, be it bad or good, it reflects on your family. So you have to also keep at all time. And I saw this kid dig down and start writing and start singing and start doing everything that he almost went overboard to the point that he never quite had time enough for himself. And that was the biggest problem that me and him had, because I would tell him, you need to go on vacation. You need to relax a little bit. You need to you need to get rest. You need to get away from this and let it go and let it be for a minute and then come back to it. The same thing with Sean. Sean didn't want to do this business anymore after his brother died. And so it was hard for me to even get him to even build him back up to the point of him wanting to go back on stage, because he didn't want to go back on stage because he wanted to continue doing it with his brother. But I kept telling him, your brother's not here anymore. So now you have to take it on yourself, and you have to be the initiator. You can't wait on him anymore.
Well, the song that you and Gerald sung together, "Wind Beneath My Wings." I mean, I can't even watch that without crying. What did it feel like when y'all it was like magic when y'all sang it to each other. What?
We until we did it for that R&B awards show, we did not realize the impact that song would have on the world. And and then after we did it, then we started feeling the impact of the song itself when we started singing it. Because remember, when we first did that song, it was just another song we were singing. Mm-hmm. We didn't know that, for fathers and sons and for families and for people who were sitting at home in their homes, how it was going to affect them. And I think that was the Lord's doing. I think that was the Lord directing that traffic and using that song for His benefit.
Oh, definitely. But it was definitely how you guys performed it as well. You guys y'all took it to the next level and just
absolutely.
Yeah, communicating with each other. Now the public knows so much about you and Gerald and Sean, but you have a son, Eddie Levert Jr. Is he still
Yeah.
your manager?
Well, Eddie, he's doing all kind of stuff. Eddie wants to be a mogul, so
Okay.
he's trying to be like L.A. Reid and all of them guys. So he's promoting and he's doing some managing. He's doing a little bit of all of it.
Did you ever try to get him to be an entertainer, or was he introverted?
Eddie can't sing.
Oh,
He took after his mama's side of the family.
okay. What about your daughter Candace? Does she sing?
Excellent singer, excellent, but wants no part of it. Wants no part. She just hates the business of it.
Oh
She
wow.
she don't like the things that you have to go through as far as being in this business.
And you have a beautiful granddaughter, Cameron, who has a nice voice as
Yeah,
well. Can
yeah,
you see yourself recording with her one day?
yeah. Well, yes. My daughter, my 14-year-old, uh, my 14-year-old, she's really, 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 really good, and I'm planning on doing some things with her. Uh, it runs in the family, and they all want things to be done. Oh God, this phone is killing me.
I see. I said, "Oh Lord, he got a hotline over there. Hotline bling."
Phone is-
Well, is your 13-year-old daughter? Is she does she
She's
think of you as
14.
cool?
Don't let her hear you say 14.
14, 14. My bad.
14, right, right. Don't let her hear you say 13.
She's
And
crossed. She's crossed over.
yeah, she's big time. Uh, does she think I'm cool? I can tell you some stories about that, but yeah, I think she does. I think she thinks I'm cool. She just thinks that I'm old. She reminds me all the time. You're old, Dad. You're old.
Does she know how iconic her dad is?
Yes, but she don't care. She still says I'm old.
Well,
You know,
what is it like parenting now at a 14-year-old in your 70s?
well, this is my first time really being into the child rearing business, because before with Gerald and Sean, most of the time I was on the road. Uh, with Ryan, I've been able to be here from grade school to high school to kindergarten, through her sleepovers and through her going through little spats at school. Well, with Gerald and them, it was mostly their mom who spent most of the time with them. Now I've gotten a chance to see, and what it has done for me is made me respect women tremendously. You guys have a 24/7 job, and I don't want it.
What surprised you about being that dad, that child rearing dad?
Well, how often you be wanting to kill them?
Right? Oh, well, your sister Patty is the aunt to the amazing young female baseball player Monet Davis.
Yeah.
Are you related by blood to her?
No, no. Well, me and Patty, we've been knowing each other a long, long time. So we just called each other sister and brother. And she's been involved in all of my grandkids' life. She's been involved in Gerald and Sean's life. She's been involved in Ryan's life. So she is truly what you call an aunt.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, your nephew Karis Levert is one of the top players for the University of Michigan, and he's
Yeah,
predicted to be an NBA like first round draft pick. Are you
yes.
are you are you close to him?
Well, not would you say close, but I've been involved in trying to get him a agent. I've been involved in him meeting some people and introducing him to some people to help him to get to the next level. And so, yeah, and I'm really very proud of him, and because that I finally realized how much it takes for you to be in that arena and to be a pro, to go from there to the pros, and all the things that he had to go through. And now he's injured a little bit, and so now we have to make sure that he gets well so he can go to be successful.
Well, how's he doing since his father passed?
He's doing fine. He's
Okay.
doing fine, and you know, it's just another hurdle, sweetheart. You
Yeah.
know, there was nothing. You know, if we could do something about those things, I'm pretty sure we would do. But there was nothing we could do, so we have to just deal with it and try to go pull ourselves out of there and go to whatever comes next.
Right, right. Well, I mean, you said not that close, but doing all that for him, trying to hook him up, I would say close. That's close to me.
He's family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what you're supposed to do with family.
I
You
love
know.
that. I love that. I love that. Do you still, now that you know how, difficult it is to rear children, and you're, getting your big dose of it right now with Ryan, have you still kept in touch, or talked to your ex-wife Martha on any capacity, since y'all share, such a hurt with losing your sons?
We don't talk that much, but when I see her, she's a very special person. She's really one of the one of the greatest people that I've ever known. And Martha, and the thing that she did with those kids was spectacular. So we don't talk as much, but when we do talk, we talk as friends.
Mm-hmm. Okay, awesome, awesome. I want to know, what would Eddie tell his younger self about this industry, about life?
Well, you know, I would tell him the same thing that an old man used to tell us every day. He says, "Okay, you boys, you're pretty good." He says, "But here's what you got to do. You got to pay your taxes and leave those girls alone."
Oh, you kept calling yourself an old man, but I mean, what is it like being married to a younger woman? That's what I want to know.
Look, 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 that's what every old man needs.
Now that should go on a bumper sticker right there.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And,
That's,
and and what is the lesson that took you the longest to learn?
oh wow. Lesson. I think the longest lesson that it took me to learn was that the things that you do, right or wrong, if you do wrong things, just remember it's gonna not only affect you, but it affects your spouse, it affects your children, it affects it affects your friends, it affects your mom, your dad, your sister, your brother, and on. It's almost like a trickle down effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a domino effect. The things that you do, if you do some bad stuff, it's going to affect all the people that love your friends, and then by an effect, that means you affect their friends and the friends that they have, and and the mother, and it goes on and on. So the things that you do in life, you have to make sure that you're doing the right thing, because it affects everybody that you that you're around, that are in your family, that you know. If they love you, you're gonna affect them. You're gonna affect them, and the way you want to affect them is in a positive manner. So that to me is that that falls under that statement of do unto others as you would have them to do unto you.
And what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh, boy, that I was just I was a real person. That I was honest. That I just tried to do the right thing with everybody, and I respected everybody.
Awesome. Well, we got a lightning round, an Eddie Levert lightning round, and then we can wrap this up. Now, this lightning round, we just want you to just, whatever comes to you, the top of your head, it's like a rapid fire type thing. Okay, the first, the Triumphs or the Mascots?
Neither one of them.
You said we're gonna go with the OJs.
Yeah, that's right. Neither one of
them. James Brown or Jackie Wilson?
Oh man, that's geez. Okay, I'd have to say, ooh. Oh man, I love James Brown. I think as far as class and far as having the killing the killer, the swab and debonair, I'd have to go with Jackie Wilson.
Early mornings or late nights?
Early morning.
What current artist today would you like to work with?
I really would like to work with Fantasia. I like her.
Oh, that would be so beautiful to see you guys on stage together.
I like her.
For the Love of Money or Love Train?
I have to go with Love Train. It's proven to be all of that in a bag of chips.
I would say 30 minutes, I would say. Straight 30.
That's right.
Baby Hold On to Me or Wind Beneath My Wings?
I just because of the dynamics and how it affected the world, and what I think it really put me and Gerald on the map. I'd have to say Wind Beneath My Wings.
Eddie's favorite curse word?
Shit.
Just like Shit Starters, that's on the album.
That's right. That's right.
Las Vegas or Canton, Ohio?
Las Vegas.
Eric Benet or Johnny Gill? I know you work with both of them on their projects.
I'd have to say Johnny.
Favorite current song?
Wow. Okay, fair. I'd have to say, Did I Make You Go Ooh?
Hey. Yes, put that CD up.
That's right. Here we go. Here we go. We're going to put it. Here we go.
There you go.
That's what we want. This is what we need.
Yes. We need to move up higher on that chart. Yes.
That's right. We need to go in the top 10. You know?
Yes.
10.
Yes. So, a song that you get tired of singing?
Tired of really singing. Tired of it. Just tired of it. I'm just tired of singing this. I'm just tired of singing. I'm just tired. Just tired. I'd have to say Backstabbers.
Okay. Okay. I
like it, but I'm tired of singing.
I've Still Got It, or Did I Make You Go Ooh?
Then I make you go.
If you weren't a singer, what else would Eddie be doing now?
I would be either a limo driver, a taxi cab driver, or a bell captain at a big hotel.
Oh, wow. Okay. Outside of your own music, because I know you love your music, what is your favorite old school song?
Wow. Okay. I got to feel it. Baby, I got to feel it.
You try to come back and give James Brown some love after picking Jackie Wilson. Oh, it has been such a pleasure talking to you today.
My Quincy, it's my pleasure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Studio Q Show. Now you know.